Tell us a little bit about your journey. What got you into startups?
Growing up, I lived in Stockton, and my entire goal was to get out. So I moved out when I was 17. I got my own place in Sacramento. In sales, in like telecommunications for a long time, and I performed it pretty well. And a friend of mine at the time was a influencer within the space. She had a small following of like 10, 15,000 followers. But at that time, influencer marketing was not what it is today. She got like 10% of every deal. One day I looked at her numbers. She sold like 75 of these like protein powders. And I was like, you know what? And got 10%. So she's like a part-time babysitter struggling. And I was like, why don't we just start a business? Like COVID just happened. We'll go out with the digital workout guide. We'll get like, D2C products, like booty bands, those type of things. And then I watched that business scale out of my apartment in Sacramento to over $400,000 in revenue in ARR within our first year. And sold off that portion, moved to San Diego, tried to scale just like influencer consulting. Ultimately failed horribly. I like growth. I like business development. I am not a consultant. I'm just not that guy. I was a founder. So then it's the pandemic. I try to work in another telecommunications job. Denied. I go back and I start working at a sushi restaurant, just trying to figure it out. I get a LinkedIn message on my phone, all tech startup, a seed. Go in there. They're like, okay, we're going to cold call. You're going to make horrible money. I thought it was good money at the time. Horrible money for being a full cycle AE. I fixed their lead gen system, started booking demos through Instagram, using Clubhouse lead generation at the time as well, selling to meal prep operators. And then we never had a product. So I was selling a Figma file. We got to $1.5 million in ARR. I found out it was a Figma file. I didn't even know what a Figma was, bro. I'm from Stockton. I didn't know anything about a Figma file. But then we fail, obviously, because the product was fake. I leave, I get into Berkeley somehow from community college. And then I, start working in influencer marketing tech solutions, a company called Skeepers, and learn a lot from there. I start working in Paris, doing like consulting for environmental initiatives, DEI initiatives with like large brands like Doc Martens. So I started learning how to sell in France, which is a completely different sales process. I come back. Both internships don't give me a return offer. Sleeping on my brother's couch, back to square one. I work at a small company called PropRise. I scaled 200K ARR in less than 4 months. I started contracting with a bunch of YC companies. Revamp was one of those contracts. Revamp basically poaches me and hires me on full time. I was just building like sales systems within the tech organization. We basically do like personalized messaging at scale for like email, SMS, dynamic timing, product recommendations, you name it. It's more personalized. It makes it feel like you just walked into a store is kind of what our solution does in comparison to like generic copy that you receive in your email inbox today. That's kind of my journey.
Your journey is jam-packed with so much experience. I love it.